If you're anything like me, growing up as a Digimon fan, obsessed with all the possible combinations and Digivolutions that a Digimon could have, you might have come up with your own custom Digimon. Whether you drew them in the back of your school book or designed them yourself and put them on the internet, fan-created Digimon is a huge part of the Digimon fandom. But what if I told you that some fans' original designs actually got turned into real Digimon? These are the official Digimon that were created by fans.
Happy holidays!
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Digi-December. I hope you're all having a wonderful holiday season so far, and I'm super excited to talk about a lot of these Digimon that were made by fans today. Obviously, there are a swathe of Digimon, there's tons of them, over 1,400, but throughout the history of the franchise, right back to the very beginning, Digimon has run contests that have allowed fans to make official Digimon. These competitions have been run in various places, including but not limited to a Digimon Web dot art competition, a Bandai-Town fax competition, that's fax machines. Do people still remember fax machines? Am I that old?
Okay.
V-Jump, Digi-Window, and most recently a Cross Wars fan contest. What was asked of competition entries varied by competition, but I think the most interesting is the Web dot art competitions that aim to emulate the V-Pets of the time. And so the creation process involved children using only what would be available on a Digimon V-Pet screen, so black and white colours and a very limited pixel count. But there's also been competitions that were about traditional drawing and submitting them, and we'll get to those in just a sec. But what you might assume if it's a fan-made Digimon is maybe it shows up once as a cameo, right? Traditionally in a lot of children's shows, if a fan makes something, it's showcased off as, look, a fan made this. Maybe they just put it during the eye catch, maybe it shows up as like a little cameo in one episode and it's gone. But what's really interesting about Contest Digimon is they have become staples of the franchise. It might shock you to discover that one of the winners of the Web dot art competition designed by a Digimon fan was Cyberdramon. That's right, Ryo's partner Digimon was created by a Digimon fan. How amazing must that be to be that fan? The Gold Award winner of the first Web dot art contest was Vegeta Yozo. He won 2 1.5 gold Pendulum V-Pets and 2 2.5 Pendulum V-Pets. What a lucky boy. My only thing with this, right, is I love fan competitions. This is incredible that Bandai does this. But looking at how much Cyberdramon has appeared in the franchise, and as Vegeta has aged and grown up and is presumably around my age now, do you think maybe there's any point where he goes, man, yeah, these 4 V-Pets I own are pretty cool, but I would maybe like some royalties? I'm sure he's fine with it, but God, can you imagine? But that 1999 contest spawned a bunch of incredible Digimon, which again have gone on to be mainstays in the franchise right up to the current day. Thunderballmon, Big Mamemon, Kokuamon, Skullsatamon, Godramon, Karutaki Numemon, and Cyberdramon were all designed for this competition. Big Mamemon just showed up in the anime. A design made by a fan in 1999 is still appearing prominently in the franchise. Incredible. Other standouts from other years of the Web dot art competition include Pandamon, Deathmon, Scorpiomon, Mermaimon, and Witchmon. There's a bunch more from the Web dot art. I've included the Wikimon entry for all fan-made / competition Digimon, which you can check out yourself. I'm not just going to read an entire wiki article. That's boring. You're all capable of reading wiki articles yourself. I'd like to inject a little bit of originality into these videos, but you can go check out the Wikimon article down below. The Bandai-Town fax service competitions also had a bunch of Digimon that ended up becoming pretty big mainstays in the franchise, including, but not limited to, Honeybeemon, Flymon, Orochimon, and Mummymon. Yeah, that Mummymon. Mummymon, one of the most famous antagonists from Digimon Adventure 02, was created in 1999 by a fan. Like, I would be so blown away if I even got my Digimon made into a design. Can you imagine it being a prominent, amazing, comedic character, an antagonist in Digimon 02? It'd blow me away. An interesting standout to me is that V-Jump ran a contest for an original Digimon, and that was where Dobamon was created. As you can see, the design for Dobamon is pretty much exactly how it ended up being, with a couple of alterations, and as you can see from this page, it was created for Digimon Tamers, which Dobamon did eventually end up showing up in, partnered with Alice. But what I also find interesting is all these designs at the bottom of Dobamon. I don't believe any of them got used as official Digimon, although this one in the bottom right does look a lot like the Diginomes from Tamers. And then fast forwarding to 2011, Digimon Cross Wars also had an original character fan competition. And this is a very modern competition, but where a lot of solid designs that again have kept popping up were created. As you can see in these pictures, fans made designs for Ganimon, Zenimon, and Kozenimon, which obviously are based on Japanese money, Footmon, and Ikakimon. The design of Footmon is awesome. I think it's a kid who drew this, but I mean, no shade to whoever drew Ikakimon, but there is a big night and day difference between the abilities of these two kids. But again, both of them becoming Digimon ultimately is what's really cool. The artist taking either a really good kid's design or kind of a crappy kid's design, which is fine because they're a child, and turning it into a real Digimon is so cool. And the last two winners of this competition designed Beikomon and Soundbirdmon. Again, Beikomon is incredibly drawn, and then Soundbirdmon is a lot more basic, but you can really see a lot more of the bird elements to this Soundbirdmon. As much as I like the finished design, it definitely leans more towards kind of like Demi-Devimon bat-like design, but you can still see the bird in there. But again, this design made for Cross Wars in 2011 is now a staple of the franchise. It is the default minion of Devimon in Digimon Adventure 2020. Something a fan designed almost 10 years ago, now being exposed to a new generation of Digimon fans is super cool to me, and as a long-time fan who's been a fan of the franchise for almost 20 years, getting to see what I would have considered the next generation of Digimon fans designing Digimon is so incredibly cool to me. Obviously, I'd also love to design my own Digimon, but the ship has sailed on that one. But it gives me such a wonderful feeling of community to see that even though it's just in Japan, Digimon really cares about its fans and viewers and does allow them direct input to the franchise. There was also a competition the following year, although it had much less winners, only 3 winners were picked, these being Jokamon, Yakimon, and Pillowmon. But throughout Cross Wars there were eye catches which showed the finished designs and the original drawings by the fans. And to finish off, I want to talk about this V-Jump page from 2007, which just has this weird nostalgia for me, even though I didn't read V-Jump. But if you read any magazine growing up as a kid, especially Digimon ones, maybe we could do a video on that in the future. Seeing this magazine page all laid out perfectly with the original children's designs next to the finalized ones done by professional artists is so dope. Obviously we can see the 2 winners, Surfymon, which I'm not really very familiar with Surfymon, but Surfymon looks awesome, and Catch Mamemon, who the original design wanted to call UFO Mamemon. That's another thing I like, when they take enough of the design, enough of the influence, but say, hey, that might not work, you know, we want to try and make it a little bit different. So they work with the original design and adapt it for what works best in Digimon, rather than just throwing in something because they had to, because a kid designed it for their competition. But much like the Dobemon picture, there's also some runners-up who never became official Digimon. These being Bancho Ogamon, Goemon, Mitokomon, Surumon, Tsukaremon, and Sukaban Rabbitmon. I'm not sure which one the top left one is because I don't speak Japanese, but it looks like a baseball version of Swanmon. But yes, as you can see, there are a ton of fan-made Digimon who are now official Digimon used throughout the franchise. In the anime, in the games, in the card games, so much of Digimon's rich history is made up by fans, and that's something that I truly adore about the franchise. It really feels like we matter. Although Digimon hasn't always had the soaring popularity of some other franchises from Japan like Dragon Ball or Pokemon, it has maintained a direct connection to the fans that few other franchises can rival. Especially with people like Nintendo directly shutting down fan projects, Digimon embraces fan culture, creating these contests for fans to create Digimon, realizing that a huge amount of global fans were playing the Japanese Digimon card game and deciding to make it go global, or mostly global. I know there's some territories that don't have it yet, I'm sorry. Creating avenues like Premium Bandai, which at least in America allow you to import a lot of these cool Japanese Digimon products, and so much more. I do miss out on a lot of Digimon stuff living in the UK just because it's not as stocked as it is in the US or in Japan, but I still feel like I matter. The fact that I, as a Digimon fan, could go up and pick my cards from a local store was incredible to me. And to me, these Digimon fan contests are the pure crystallization of that ethos that Digimon has. Out of all the things that I'm a fan of, Digimon is something I always come back to because I feel like I matter. I feel that me supporting the franchise directly helps it grow, and if it does get a second wave, I will love that because I was part of it. And I can just imagine that is exactly how these kids who won these contests must feel. The things they have designed have gone on to become mainstays of the franchise and maybe inspired other kids to design their own Digimon. It's a never-ending circle of creativity, and I just adore that. Thank you, Digimon. I'm not at all salty that none of my designs became official Digimon. And that's the video. Now, normally I ask you to comment down below, which does help immensely, so does liking, thank you very much. Letting me know your thoughts on the video, and I'm happy to have that too, but what I really want to know about today is your original Digimon designs. Obviously you can't embed images on YouTube, which I guess makes sense, but tell me what your ideas are. In the last video where I talked about Toy Agumon, I had a bunch of people's ideas for what a Toy Greymon could be, so if you've got something like that, like a custom evolution for an existing Digimon, let me know. A completely original Digimon, your own crests, what is the most original thing you've come up with for Digimon that you're the most proud of? Let me know down below. And like I say, liking and subscribing helps a bunch. Also, I found this out through the YouTube studio. They haven't really told anyone this as far as I can tell, but if you have a YouTube premium subscription, you can just become a channel member of mine for free. You know, like how on Twitch, you can use Twitch Prime to subscribe for free? Apparently you can become a channel member just for free if you have YouTube Premium. So if you want to do that, you get your name in the outro. You don't have to do nothing. But I just found out this myself, and so I figured I'd tell people in the next available video. And speaking of that, huge shouts out to my incredible Tamer level members, Crimson Dragon Slayer, Nikolai Slenter, and Tippy. Thank you guys so much. And shout out to the Khan Club too, you guys rock. Lots more Digi-December content coming soon. I've got some great ideas that I can't wait to share with you. One very special one coming up right on Christmas, which I'm really looking forward to. But until then, you guys be good to each other. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you next time when we go digital.